August 2nd. I wanted to show you how well this worked out. So this is what you do, right? Freeze them like that, and later on, come in and vacuum seal them. Look at that. That's pretty nice. Got a couple of them back there. Well, this bag looks like it's rusty open. This one right here. Didn't seal right. This one's okay. Right. You can see. But that's okay. Okay, so that's what they look like when they're vacuum sealed. This one I just kind of vacuum sealed again in another bag. So I just took the bag, put it in another bag, and vacuum sealed it twice. Right? Stays better that way. And then, when you get them from the farms, you don't wash them unless you're maybe going to do something like that. Okay? Then maybe, yeah, you can wash. But other than that, you store them like this. And then as you take them out, do you see how that works? And then as you take them out, that's when you rinse them off. Okay? So this is just, a box, right? And that's what we'll eat first. And then as we go throughout the year, then get into these. Right? And then I wanted to show you this. Oh, hold on. Okay. Do you see those beautiful tomatoes? Those tomatoes came from my garden, what, 2-3 years ago? Right? They're in a box down there. You can see I cut out some more. Right? In a box, bagged up, and they're looking perfectly fine. So anyway, start cooking with them because I couldn't get to them because they're down there, but I'm going to use them up now, right? And then the other thing is I've started to put the cakes in there, and I already gave some to my son. Okay, so now I'm upstairs working on the rest of this banana. So while I'm doing this, I'm just doing it fast, right? I'm tripling it because I want 6 more pans, so that would be 12 cakes, right? Already gave some to my son, gave me a hug, okay? And we're missing Auntie ShaMay. Everybody's missing Auntie ShaMay right now, for whatever reason. So anyway, I'm going to just run through this recipe fast because it's basically from what I used to make when my kids were young, right? Okay, so because I'm tripling this banana cake. Okay, I put 6 3/4 cup flour. Okay, so 6 3/4 cup flour, right? And then 1 2/3 cup sugar times 3. I'm not doing the math on it, so I went 3 cups, 1 cup, 3 cups, 2/3, and it's in there, okay? Right? And then I did about 2/3 cups of shortening, right? I had just enough shortening, minus a tablespoon or more, or less, okay? And then, so you do that 3 times, 2/3, right? And then you're looking at about 2/3 to 3/4. If you need to add more milk, you can add it later, but you start off with 2/3 milk times 3, so 3 cups, and then 1 tablespoon 3 times to turn that milk into buttermilk, right? So we got 2/3 times 3 times 3 tablespoons of vinegar. So that's ready to go, right? And then we've got the 3, they were fairly large bananas. Technically you kind of maybe need a little more, but not in this case because I'm using berries. In this case I'm probably going to do raspberry and blueberry along with the nuts, right? And then we've got, I put in 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 7.5 teaspoons of baking soda, okay? Plus, because I have it here, I got grease on my glasses. Do you see? Remember that? Go back into my videos. Anyway, I put in 2 teaspoons of this for the vitamin B, because this packs vitamin B. That's the reason why you eat this stuff, is because it has vitamin B. Right? So I threw that in there just for the sake of it. And then gonna do some salt, so I just go like this with my salt, right? You know, they say about a teaspoon. So 1, 2 times 3. Okay, we got that in there now. And then of course we've got vanilla. I'm just telling you, right, so I don't forget. I haven't done this one yet. Right, this is pure vanilla. You can see I like pure vanilla. But if all you have is imitation, that's fine. You can do that too. So you want 3 of these at least. Right? Whoa. Okay. And then I don't like 2 eggs per batch. I like 3 eggs per batch. So I'm going to do 9 eggs. Okay, I haven't cracked them yet. So I'm going to do 9 eggs. And these eggs, people, they came from the farms when I went off and got the strawberries. I just brought them down upstairs from Auntie ShaMay's room. I've got another tray and a half downstairs. I asked my son, I said, you know where to get these, right? You know, so when I run out, he on his way home from work, I'm gonna buy. Right? So anyway, I'll put 9 eggs in there, and then I'll show you what's going on. Right? So that's basically the recipe. Right? You got the flour, the sugar, the baking powder, the baking soda, you've got the buttermilk, right? You've got the banana, you've got the shortening. Hold on a minute. Is that even recording? I don't know. I don't know what it's doing right now, people. Something going on. I don't know how to... Oh, maybe it's still recording. It looks like it might be recording. Hold on. Yeah, I think that was recording. What happens is the screen starts saying all this stuff, and anyway. Okay, so you got basically the recipe there if you really want it, right? And then in terms of nuts, what we used last night was really good. I'm telling you. Oh, so good. This is the black walnut, right? We got the warrior tree out in the front, or sorry, out in the back. It's getting big, people. Seriously, black walnut. Oh my God, it's hard to pick out from the shells. You don't get as much as English walnut, but it has its own taste and it retains its sweetness for years. Okay, because these were frozen, kicking around, right? And it's been 3-4 years now, right? I have to go back into my videos, and I freezed them twice, right? I did them twice. One year was a huge mother load. Anyway, vacuum sealed it, obviously. Oh my God, they're so good. I vacuum sealed it and took one out, unthawed, whatever. Okay, put it in a jar. It's been sitting in the jar now, I don't know, for a while. And I'm telling you, it is so good. Okay, I wanted to show you these eggs. They came from when I bought the strawberries. Oh my God, man! Look, I mean, first of all, look at the colors of it. So rich, and their shells, I'm telling you, were thick. So obviously, well-fed chickens. Oops, I see eggshell though. You see that eggshell? I have to get that eggshell out. Okay, so anyway, here is the buttermilk. You can see it's kind of thick. It's curdling already. Oops, hold on. This camera is overworked. See? So that works really good. So what you do is there is no method to this one other than put everything together. You see how simple this is? Right? If you'd like, you can take a spoon and just get it started, in terms of mixing it up. And then take your beater to it and beat it on low, right? For about 30 seconds, a minute, whatever. And then turn it on high and give it at least 2 minutes, if not a little longer. Because there's a batch of 3 here, I'm going to do it longer than 2 minutes, right? You beat it really, really well. And then you're good to go. And then after that, that's when you put your berries in and your nuts or whatever. You got raisins. You could put raisins in this, right? You could put currants in this. You could put whatever you want in this, right? Okay. So what I'm noticing here is those eggs were so lovely, right? Like in terms of they were large and packed full of nutrients, right? I myself personally, I think it just requires a tad bit more flour. So after you beat, right? Like I'll show you. Okay, you see, Now, it's fine. Okay, it needs to be beat a little more. But I just want it slightly thicker for myself. Because I'm going to be putting in fruit. And don't forget, that fruit's going to be releasing moisture, right? So, you just sprinkle a little bit. Do it like if you were doing bread. But you're not making bread. You're making cake. And then just feed it in. Right? Just to thicken it up if you feel that it just needs a bit more. Right? So I wouldn't give it no more than maybe a cup, if that, not even maybe a cup. Right? 2/3, half a cup. Right? And then what's going to happen, just going to be better for the berries. Don't put it in all at one time, because it's like, it'll clump up, right? If you do it this way, you're more successful at blending it into the cake itself, well, the batter, I should say, right? It doesn't take much, right? Show you how to do it. This is not a very high-powered blender. Alright, so I'll just finish what's in here, and that's good. And now, after I'm done this, I'm going to just blend it in and give it a good minute more, and then I'm going to throw in the berries and the nuts. Okay, so the last stage is, right, now that everything's mixed up, put your nuts in, sprinkle approximately how many berries you want. You can see we're doing a melody here, right? And then you don't start stirring, okay? You just fold it in. That's around and around like that. You just, right? So you don't, you're not really busting anything up, right? It goes fast. Just move it around, just fold it in, and then fill up your pans halfway, right? I say 350, right? Halfway with those pans, you're looking at about 45 minutes. And then they come out pretty nice, right? And then when it comes time to check them, you open up your oven. You don't take out your stuff, right? And you take a knife, a nice clean knife, and you run it down in through the middle of your cake pan to the bottom. You pull out your knife, and if it comes out clean, then that means your cake is done. Okay, so I got about that much left. I've done 5 pie pans. They're almost at the halfway mark. So I could fill up this one. That would probably be more than enough for that. But I feel like there might not be enough in these. I don't know what to do. Okay, so I decided to go with the 6 pans instead of 5. And 3 of them, I'm trying something different. I just want to see what happens. But I'm going to put them in the front of the oven. Can you see? Oh my God, don't tell me my oven's not going to close. Oh no. There we go. That works. There we go. Do you see? Nice. Okay, I'm done. The blueberries just sunk. That's it. This is the one. Right? These ones were in the back. You can see they're a little darker compared to these ones. But the blueberries that I ran through there, they just sunk in. So, yeah, I had to give it an extra 5 minutes. So I did it for 50 minutes at 350. And you can see they're not falling, nothing. Right? Very nice. Oh, it smells so good in here. And being that my son was excited that I had done this, right? This jar here of apples that I canned in 2014 when Uncle John was around, I think what I'm going to do with that is something similar like this. Instead of using bananas, I'm going to use this apple after I strain it. And I'm going to mix blueberries in with it because I still got lots of blueberries. And in this way, I'll get another, I don't know, 10 more cakes. And being that I got the pans out, and, I'm not going to, I'll probably do 1 batch tonight, and then maybe, see how it goes. The rest I'll put in the fridge, and then when I have time, because I have to go outside, people, right? But I'll try and do 1 batch tonight. I'm going to open up the jar, see how it is. If I like it, then I'm going to do it. If I don't like it, then it goes into compost, and I get back a beautiful jar, right? Can't find jars that's this size anymore. Okay, so August 3rd, I'm going to work basically out in the back for a couple of days. Right? I can do 2 days back to back, but people, my feet are killing me. The ringing in my ears is just off the roof all the time. Pressure in my head, eyeballs rolling around because I'm going blind. But besides that point, I navigate around it, right? You know, you rock until you drop, I guess you can say. So anyway, I am going today, it's not too hot, well at least not right now, finish that little bit over there. I'm going to try and, you can see it's lipping up. So I'm going to see if I can, I don't know, somehow tack that down. And then get on with this. I need to get this done. This, after it's done, I'm telling you, I think I might grow lettuce or spinach or maybe something like that if I ever get it together for, like, you know, you could do that in the winter time. All you need is a little grow lights. Right? So I'm going to work on that because I got to get on with this, moving this stuff around, right? See, I put on that board there, so I'm going to vinyl that up. Right, but before I get into that, I'm going to do that first. That's where I'm starting. Okay, so I think it's August 4th, 2020. Tomorrow, August 5th, 2020, would have been ShaMay's birthday, but she's not here. Anyway, do you see those flowers? Look at those flowers. I don't know what this little white flower is. It's kind of sitting there. What is that? I'll have to go look at that later. It's big and poofy. But look at those. Those came from Old Man Miser. That old man miser who won't let Andre and I go into that field and pick pears that fall to the ground and just rot. But anyway, he has these, oh my God, this thing is getting bigger every year too. He has these in his yard, and he has other flowers that get tall. And before he gave me these ones, I asked him if I could have some of the other ones, right? Because they, you know, they spread through the ground, right? And all he said, yeah, okay, I'll dig them up and I'll leave them in a bag for you. Well, anyway, there was the bag. I brought home the bag. I put the bag into the ground, and then, you know, the flowers grew, and this is what he actually gave me. He didn't give me the ones that I asked for, but he gave me those ones, right? I just want to point these out, and they're getting taller every year. I noticed that. Everything just bloomed right out. What is this? What kind of flower is this? Look at this flower, people. Oh, look, there's another one. Oh, these, it's the flowers to these. Is this the same plant? No. Different plant. This one's got bigger leaves. Anyway. But yeah, no, these things got taller, people. And they're like huge. And then look over here. I love these. Oh, they're the coolest. They are the coolest daisies I've ever seen. These ones are standing up nice and straight so far this year. Normally they fall down, right? They fall down like that, eh? Do you see? Right? I have a little fence. I'm going to cut it. Today I'm taking out the skill saw. My hand's been sore though. My wrist. It's not a good sign. But I don't have arthritis, so it should be fine. Should be fine for now. Just working hard, that's all. You see, these ones are starting to bloom now, eh? Right. Look at that. See, this I should send to, well, my landlady was here the other day. Okay, but I'll send this to her daughter. Isn't that nice? So cool. So cool. So cool. I'll cut back the raspberries now. See, they fall right down to the ground. And then there's those ones over there. I don't know. The grapes, they always take over that part of the tree. You can see what's going on there, eh? But grape leaves and Norway maple leaves are really good mulch. Right? What's in here? Very good mulch. I don't necessarily like these things. They're prolific. They root really fast. But what do you call it? The leaves themselves are very good for mulch. Right. Work. My landlady was saying, how come they do nothing next door? And I'm like, shh, be quiet, this is mine. I said, don't worry about it. Not this year. I'm building on this side. Right? Let's hope that little bird made it. It ended up in the fig tree. And the owner of the house, when he was out here cutting the grass, he came and he showed me. I said, you sure the baby okay? He goes, yeah. And he showed me a picture of it in the fig tree. So, both of us were feeling pretty good about that. Now, whether that dusty black cat got a hold of it, I don't know. But anyway, we can only assume that it survived because the parents disappeared, right? So, they followed the baby wherever the baby was going. Something's growing in here. It's one of those, well, what did you plant? Well, I don't know. Let's see what we get. Alright, don't forget, I got in here late. Sorry, wandering eye. So, maybe we'll get lucky and get something. Right. And our little oak tree's doing good. He's perking up. Those are, what do you call those things? I need to do another... This year, what I need to do is save these seeds as soon as they're ready. Save them all. And you see, this is where this would be good for next year. Because those are leeks, right? If there was a way to get a handle on that, like a good handle, like I don't even know what it's going to take. Like, that's what it's going to take. I'm going to have to tarp up the whole thing, right? And down, so... And then just let it sit for the winter. I don't know, people. Right? But then you get the ground nicely done. You know, get a load of dirt in. Enrich it, do whatever. And then take those seeds and a whole little spot. And you'll have nothing but, what is it called? Leeks. So, I'm working in the back right now. Dealing with these trees. I have tomato plants that I started, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or something like that. It was like in July when I planted them. Middle of July. Second week of July. And they're like growing in the greenhouse right now. Right? And the trees, the walnut trees are busting through the ground. So I'm having to catch them before they get too deep. Oh, let me show you the... What is it called? It's like a bad habit. Haven't even started my day yet, people. The warrior tree. Hold on. Okay. So there's the warrior tree. Like, this thing is getting tall. Pretty soon I'll be up like that. And then like that. And then like that. Right? I'm already having there. I'm like almost at, well, yeah, eye level with this thing. You can see how much it's grown. Right? So, this is what I figure. I'll just let it grow for a while. Right? And, what do you call it? Eventually, I think I'm just gonna retire old Betsy here. I have no money to put her on the road, people. Right? You know, I want to drive her for 6 more months to a year. I'm pretty sure if I took her to my mechanic, he'd get her purring. But, I don't know. So anyway, if and when this thing ever gets big enough and starts dropping nuts, and if I'm here, right, you know, eventually that'd have to move. Or you'd have to cut off branches so nothing falls, right? But it's not that big yet. It's getting bigger, you can see that, right? That's the warrior tree. It's grown so much in the last 2 years. And then you see this one right here? That one's busted through the ground. Do you know how I know? Look how lush it is. Right? So I have to dig that one out. And I just dug out, oh, where is it? Where did I put it? This one over here. I'm doing garden bed repairs. Do you see? That's what I did yesterday. So now I'm coming out with the skill saw, and I'm, sorry, wandering eye, and I'm going to reboard, right? I'm deciding I should really take off that white fencing and redo it later after I reinforce, so wandering eye, I'm tired, people, reinforce the whole thing. But do you see this tree right here? Where is it? This one. This one? That guy busted through my bricks. I ended up breaking its root, its main root. So whether it recoups and heals itself or whether it dies remains to be seen. But this one here, I can tell, busted. Right? Those ones are okay. Right? So anyway, pretty soon I'm gonna have to see if I can find some homes for some of these things. But this one here is amazing. See? Got them all over the place. Right? And then we've got some kind of squash growing in here. You can see. Right? This one likes to crawl. Again, everything got in late. Anything that I planted in there died. So that's fine. I've just left it for the year. Right? And then a whole bunch of plants. Well, they're not plants. They're trees. Over there, I'm having a tree panic attack. Right? You can see. Right? But we've got this guy curling onto it. So I should probably move. This is an English walnut of sorts. That one's a black walnut. I mean, look at this tree. Look. It's like double my size now, people. This thing is like 10 feet tall now, if not more. It just sprouted out like mad. Like mad. Now you see, beans and squash, they will live with black walnut, right? Maybe not so much a tomato, but I don't need to worry about planting tomatoes. See, these guys, this one here is a nice healthy tree. I might put some of these ones on, I just want to get a little bit more organized before I have people trampling through my yard. Look at this. Look at this tree. It's beautiful. This tree is like beautiful. It's in its own independent pot. Throw that into the ground and boy oh boy, it's going to spring. You see this one here is growing like 4 inches a night like a morning glory. Right? I have to get in there this week and re-root it out and then replant it. Right? And then try and find, like this one here, I replanted, and it's perfectly happy. It can't bust through the ground, but look how big this thing is. Like, it's huge. So, I'm going to work on getting into this one today before it gets too deep, right? Because if I can salvage it, I'd like to salvage it, right? And I got all kinds of little ones all over the place. And I'm like rolling my eyes like, Judy, what were you thinking? There's another one. Right, but, you know, easy to bust into the ground in here, right? So hold on, I'm going to take you into the greenhouse. But look, okay, so now I'm in the greenhouse, and again, everything got planted, like, really, really late. Now, I took a chance. See, here's more. There's like 3 of them in here. Need to be transplanted, right? I took a chance planting these things, like, really, really small, right? They sat in a pot. All crowded and didn't grow, and they were really, really small. And I'm like, come on, just clear it out in here, right? And plant some tomato plants because, you know, it didn't get much in my garden, right? There's not much growing. Well, it's growing now, but, you know, anyway, you can see that these things sprouted out a lot in the last 3 weeks. Like, it's amazing, and that's why I put them in here, because they love it in here. Right? And I figure we'll have probably a late summer because, you know, it was raining for 3 weeks. It was cold. I just transplanted 3 of them yesterday because, you know, I'm taking out, I had like 3 in here. I took out 1, put it there, you know, another one there, right? You can see, right? Right? So, Look, I was in here yesterday, and they're all perky and happy. So now I'm running sticks, right? And I'm going to brace them up. And even if I get green tomatoes, people, even if I get green tomatoes, I'm happy with that. Because one, I can either freeze them, or two, I can, you know, cook them up and can them in something. I mean, like, these things are growing 2-3 inches a night themselves. So we might get tomatoes yet. That would be good. That would be really good. That would make me feel good. Right? So anyway, I'm just going to end this video now. Okay? Because the only thing I'm doing out here is mucking with trees. You can see, right? Went through all things that just, I'm cleaning up the yard. So I washed all these, let them dry, put them away. You know, I've got trees everywhere. I've got to figure out where I'm going to put them. You know, you can see what I'm doing as I'm now, though, I'm going to it's damp out here. It must have rained. It rained. I don't know when it rained. Everything's wet. The grass is wet. Oh yeah. So I don't know if I want to bring out the skill saw right now. I'll do other things. Right? See, I'm getting ready to do in here. You can see, I'm just working around everything. Right? There's my black walnut wood. This is for beads. That's why I keep it, if you're wondering why. Black walnut beads. Getting my walkway bare so I can finish it. Right? That's lavender. This one here, this one busted through these things. So anytime you have a black walnut, if you ever grow them, okay, just keep this in mind. When you have it in a pot, make sure it's on something, okay, in terms of like a wood or a cement block, something where a root can't come through the hole and then find the dirt, because once it finds the dirt, that's it, and it gets into the ground. Boy, oh boy, this is a very, very hardy tree. Right now it's looking perky, so maybe it might survive what I did to it yesterday in terms of trying to get it out of the ground. Right? And then, look at this one. Isn't that the most adorable tree you've ever seen?